Much love, everyone. Powerful morning. Just wanted to share and connect and say hello. A lot of just so strong to be inside of what's happening. Yeah, I'm about to teach my Sunday class right now, and we do all these powerful movements together, and it's just life changing to do as often as I get to do it. So the benefits are tremendous. You're always welcome to join. A lot of amazing people are coming to the course in April here in person in Missoula, April 5th and 6th. So I hope it is still time to pull the trigger if you're feeling it. Um, and then yeah, just things are really ratcheting up energetically. So many things are being revealed suddenly on different layers. Um, just had a really potent morning, and how we start our day really determines everything, because that's the blueprint, and each day is a new opportunity to greet the sun and set intention in the layers of feeling, or with the mind, or both. But I'm learning to laugh and see how hilarious everything really is, and is going to continue to become more so. And so things just get lighter and lighter. But because things are quickening in so many different ways, it's really validating, exciting, helpful, kind of mesmerizing, larger than life. People are larger than life. Like, if you can really go out and see the characters in the world, and what fears they're inside of, how rich their story is. And just learning to be in silence for longer periods of time leads to being able to maintain heightened awareness while you're in the presence of others. So you get to really get a read on their energy signature. Learning to do that with large crowds, or even in memories of the past. Just being able to return to those perceptual moments of intensity. So I read a lot of fiction around people that really lived free lives and shared it inside of their envisioned dramas that come forward. But preparing to recapitulate more and more, and in doing so, one starts to write down the things that they went through, and just reaching heightened awareness states in order to drop into that type of sharing. Um, Writers can become really liberated when they start to see the different ways they can arrange what they want to share. Like in Florinda Donner's book Being and Dreaming, she learns how to use dreaming in order to complete an essay that's important to her, school situation. And that she's living among sorcerers that are trying to help her to see how to do that. And she was a challenging apprentice. She was sort of always in and out of dreaming, even when she was awake. But it explains that kind of magical way of writing, which leads to like magical thinking. So all these applications are right in front of us. We can practice this work without a teacher or without doing the movements. We can move our perception into places in which the more resourceful nature of us is accessed, which are dreaming body. And it will tell us how to write the paper or how to write the book. And I'm really looking forward to moving to that stage in my life, dropping into the depths of that creative process. And I encourage everyone to explore it. I can hang out in those places, but when I go to put it down on paper, I start to lose it. So I just rather stay there and listen to the poetry or the lyrics or the paragraphs that are being shown to me. But eventually I'll have to figure out how to maybe work with someone that I can speak it to and they can capture it while I'm talking. I mean, even just going to record it, it starts to go away. It's like it's not meant for others, right? But that's just a timing thing. It'll shift, and that door will open if it's meant to or not. But it's a beautiful practice to be inside of the memoir, the return to your stories of you, and then freeing yourself from them and erasing the history of them by receiving, sort of reliving the lesson of them and retrieving your essence from them so that you can be moving into deeper and deeper chapters in your book. A lot of people don't have very interesting lives unless they were to get into their pain, their subconscious pain. If they were to go into the psychology of it all, it would be fascinating. But then there's people who've been very adventurous, like Tom Robbins, who recently passed, and it was such a gift. I've been just devouring his material for the last 5 months. I just got a hit, and then I went into a bookstore to purchase another one of his books recently because the ones that I had been rereading I completed, and then the man says, "Oh, a memorial by," and I felt it when he said it, and I was like, "What?" But I didn't let him know. He goes, "Oh, you're here to buy that because Tom Robbins died yesterday." And I didn't say yes or no. I just let it wash over me and continued to check out the book without saying anything. And he just assumed that's why I was there. But it was really just a magical experience to feel that wash over me and to be inside of his world when he crossed and to be inspired by the way he writes. And it was a transference that occurred. And when people cross, there's communication that's available that's different than when they were here. Tom Robbins was a magical person. He may have fallen for some psyops along the way, or maybe even part of a psyop himself. But some of these authors are just so critical to our story. So many people changed their lives because how influenced they were by the way people perceived the world, or the lyrics that people wrote about the world they perceived. But we get to come out of all those other people's stories and become our own, and see where we were tainted by other people's stories and then free ourselves from them. But also take the benefit of it. Like, it's a double-edged sword. There's so much magic that comes with so many powerful songs and movies and storylines. Even if they're made up and not real, it's okay to get into the information without being attached to whether it's true or where it comes from. But that's how you become discerning, is that you enjoy life, but also can tell the source of things. And not needing it to be any different than it is. Not being offended at the background of what makes authors famous or rock bands last for decades. Like, there are some disturbing elements to come to terms with around how MK Ultra functions and how puppetry works around people that get taken care of in different ways. Our reality is shaped by very few people when it comes to hurting the masses. But you can still go to those concerts that are sort of programmed to do that and have the time of your life. You don't have to be afraid. And I think through the movement of the assemblage point, we'll be able to heal ourselves profoundly. So rather than avoid experience, I think we should engage in a lot of experience and not be afraid of the different surveillance systems in place. And I think we can purify our energy fields. And if we're made of pure energy, then the physical interference is somewhat an illusion. And I think humor is the greatest weapon when it comes to being able to withstand the intensity of the forces, the spiritual warfare stuff, the heavier side of what's going on, the predicament we're in. But because if this obstacle course is designed to perpetuate awareness, then the interferences are designed and in place for that. So it's all good. It's all incredibly good. But the dream may get trickier and trickier to navigate. So it's a balance of being able to say no, but also be able to say yes. Yes to life and no to bullshit. And then learn to be resilient so you can adapt and adjust and go with, go without. Learn how to not panic, how to shift your perspective, and how to react differently. So in the class today, we'll be discussing reactions, responses, fluidity, pattern breaks. When we react or respond differently to situations than the way we used to, we get we realize, oh, I graduated from that. I'm no longer reacting the way I used to. And we're all just wounded kids, that are triggered in different ways. Finding ways to be more honest about that hungry ghost within and what it is seeking in order to get filled. I've seen people skip the shadow work, move into power, and then their hungry ghost comes out inside of their cult dynamic that they create. It's crazy to watch. There's a lot of it to get into, actually, or to not to avoid. But so yeah, I highly recommend that people not follow and do the work that it takes to become your own person, and then find a path of heart that sustains you and balances your life, and then allow for where you're gravitated to train with others, so that you're not becoming isolated, and have fun with it as much as possible. Be curious about your imagination, your creativity, and how you can learn to become lucid in your dreaming in ways that feels amazing. It can be annoyingly intense to become lucid when you're not ready, but it's worth it to be able to be thankful down the line that you have access to it, because it's the door. Gazing and lucid dreaming are incredible things to be able to do, but we don't want to be disassociated in doing it. We want to be energetically grounded so that we have a sustainable practice that doesn't put us into illusion of grandeur or hijack our ability to be totally functional within this realm. And that's a tricky thing. It's not easy to be able to go out there and then come all the way back. But we bring a lot of magic with us, eventually learning to go out there and have lots of joyful, energizing experiences. And then finding ways to place that inside of your situation, your storyline. How to use that magical perception to see solutions that are practical within your life so that you can have a sustainable relationship with that magic. But humor is a form of magical thinking, being able to laugh at yourself and at things and situations and see through stuff and cut through stuff and have fun. That's why construction was so amazing for so long, as people were hilarious. You're just talking shit all day and getting into like the most insane conversations. It just wouldn't happen in any other setting. But it exists, in other settings as well. It's just a matter of being open to where you can go. What place could open the door for you? It might be an old bar, on the coast of Oregon, where a bunch of old fishermen are telling old stories and stuff, that you have like a moment of just like getting a taste of the power of time travel, of moving into other layers. Those people will take you back into their stories and you can actually see their memories with them. Everyone's a storyteller. That's what I refer to myself as, a mentor and a dreaming artist and a storyteller. Because I'm telling my story slowly over time through these videos, beginning to start to share stuff that happened rather than concepts. But yeah, I was fortunate to be in the presence of hilarious people for much of my day, and I was nervous and not like them and unable to free myself enough to really enjoy, and I was jealous of it. And it took a long time to be able to, yeah, just find my own way and do it all. And then I found people that really related to the way I see things, and we were able to keep each other cracking up for years. Um, there's just a lot of freedom, and it's hard to find in the Castaneda world. People are so serious about the work that they're not uh, able to laugh and enjoy other things to the degree that I think they need to, in order to be able to not take the path too seriously. And so it's a delicate thing, as it should be, you know. Toltecs are irreverent. They're making fun of and joking all the time, even though they're doing the most incredible dreaming. And so when you're in the presence of really reverent, like religious stuff, it's heavy. It's not light enough. It has to be made fun of. It has to be moving and changing, not dogmatic or limited. But the Toltecs at one time were caught in deep ritual and hiding their knowledge, and for a reason. And so things got really tricky, and they were not light. Things got heavy, or at least different stages of different versions of lineages got lost in the power. And I don't know. We're in a time where I think it's critical that we borrow and learn from the ancient, but also, you know, integrate it into what's occurring, what kind of energies we're witnessing come in, and just how to process all of it. Enjoy the process of doing that, but not from a mental place as much as like getting really silent and then letting clarity come in on what is happening to these how are these systems playing out, what kind of forces are rising to meet each other, and in what way. Yeah, the healing that happens when you're able to stay in heightened awareness for long periods of time is very energetic. The internal power gets stronger. You just feel eventually really kind of invincible, and you start to trust in that you're that you can rely on your energy, um, which is a real homecoming, and it's worth going through whatever it takes to get to it. And it's not as hard to change your life as it seems. There's more time than you realize. There's a way to use your day differently, and the universe will reward you when you get there. But rather than shame or guilt or beat yourself up about it, be curious about how to get there in a way that's without pressure, Carlos was saying that it was all fear based, his training, but it eventually led to just acquiescence because the fear went away. So if we're listening, then we're not beating ourselves up and trying to force ourselves. We're just allowing for something, for this guidance to fully kick in that wants to, that's been attempting to work with us all along. And there's just always more availability. This is a masterless thing that can, you know, a path that can be walked for the rest of your days because there's so much to learn and unlearn. I'm gonna jump on to teaching this course here with everyone, and just want to invite you to, if you've been checking this work out for a while and you have not scheduled for a consult at any time, I'm happy to meet with people. I do a lot of mentoring, like 90-minute sessions of where I can teach some of the same stuff I teach in the course, or we can work on more personal things. So feel free to reach out. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.